Hello, and welcome to today's free webinar. I am Ryan Fry, co-founder of Upslope Group and Director of Development. We are not just another real estate firm. We're developers with a mission. We plan and develop single-family homes on deeded lots. What sets us apart from traditional builders is that our homes are built in factories, allowing us to offer starter and retirement homes at an attainable price point. This allows us to give our investors stable and dependable returns.
Hi, I'm Keith Miller, co-founder of Upslope Group and director of operations. While Ryan brings the expertise and experience, I bring the hustle and a 100% focus on executing our projects.
First, I'd like to introduce 4 topics we're going to cover today. The first topic is our real estate investing strategy and how we use this strategy to create, protect, and grow your wealth. The second topic is the elephant in the room, the common pitfalls or challenges people talk about when investing in commercial real estate. The third topic we will discuss is the Upslope Group culture and how that culture addresses the common problems that face real estate investors. For a final topic, we'll discuss an example investment opportunity and what the specifics of that opportunity are. All right, before we continue, we'd like to read this disclaimer to you. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm not a tax professional, and none of this should be construed to be tax advice or investing advice. So please take this information with that context. I'll give you a second to read through this disclaimer so we're all on the same page as to the purpose of this webinar. Before we go any further, I'd just like to make sure you're in the right place. You're a contractor, builder, or trades professional with solid cash flow. You've built something real, and now you're looking for a smart place to put your capital to work. You're probably tired of pouring every dollar back into equipment, payroll, or your next project. At some point, you want to start keeping more of what you've earned and making it grow. You want passive income, but you don't want to deal with the city's zoning regulations and government bureaucracy. You've already got one business to run, you don't need another one. You're also looking for tax advantages. You know how painful April 15th can be, and you want strategies that can help you lower your taxable income without getting fancy or risky. And finally, you want to invest in something you actually understand. Lots, homes, infrastructure, that's your language. That's what this model is built on. All right, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about who we are and what qualifies us to be in the single-family housing development space. I'm Ryan Fry. Before Upslope, I built businesses both in construction and real estate development. I've seen firsthand the hard work and time required by contractors to grow and run their companies. This makes it tough to find time and energy to build wealth outside the job site. That's why I'm passionate about this model. It aligns with how we think as builders: clear costs, real assets, controlled timelines, and no fluff. At Upslope, we've created a system that delivers homes working families can afford and returns contractors and investors can count on. And here I am spending time with my family, really leveraging the time and financial freedoms, doing the things we love with the people we love. Travel is a big value of mine, and doing it with family is the best. All of this has been afforded to us through real estate investing. Now we want to help others do the same. So next I'd like to discuss a little bit about myself and who I am in the business sense and who I am as a person. I've worked with Rob over 15 years, and he has firsthand knowledge of my experience and dedication. Lots of great compliments, of course. I'm very, very grateful to have his trust and look forward to doing many deals with him in the future. This is another business partner of mine. He's also a real estate investor. I'm very pleased with what he has to say about working with me. Folks like Jim that I've worked with before tell you 2 things. First, we know how to hit timelines and budgets because that's what contractors and business owners expect. Second, we actually answer our phones. We treat those we work with like partners and stick with those people for the long term. These aren't just deals for us, they're relationships, and they matter.
Keith here. I wanted to give you a little bit about my background and what qualifies me to be in this space. So, Keith Miller is my name. Before Upslope, I was a teacher for 10 years, but I was deeply involved in real estate development on nights and weekends as my side hustle because I was passionate about building passive income for my family. I worked my butt off doing that for many years before finally realizing about 3 years ago that I needed to focus on development full time. So I left teaching and I've been 100% focused ever since. I'm passionate about this model because it provides attainable housing at scale and creates high returns to make sure our investors are getting steady, passive income. A bit more about myself. I'm passionate and dedicated to real estate development and mastering this approach to building attainable homes. I've known Brady for years, and we've been on parallel paths learning to master this real estate development process. And I'm grateful to have his trust. I could talk about my passion for running 100-mile races or my master's degree from Harvard Extension School. But really, what really matters is my dedication and grit when it comes to our projects. And you'll hear that from every one of my references. I've worked with Gina several times. She's also a real estate investor. I'm very pleased with what she has to say about working alongside me on a day to day basis. Lots of great compliments. And of course, I'm very, very grateful to have her trust. Here I am with my family. I deeply value my time with them. They are my number one motivation. We like hiking, biking, sports, and running 5Ks with my son, stuff like that. The freedom to spend that time with my family has been made possible because of real estate investing. And now I want to help others do the same.
Now we've told you about who we are and why we do this. I want to get back to the first topic of our presentation, Upslope Group's real estate strategy and investment model. So, why do we love single family homes to sell, and what has driven us to be in this space? We want to explain a bit about why we focus on factory built homes for sale. We can build our homes for significantly less than site built homes and still have a high quality product demand. We all understand the demographic changes that are going on throughout the United States right now. We know the largest generation in the United States history, the millennials, are eager to buy, and at our price point, they actually can. By using factory built homes, we have more control over construction costs, cost overruns, which means we can price homes with confidence and still deliver strong margins to our investors. These homes are built in a controlled environment, so we can avoid weather delays, subcontractor scheduling issues, material delivery complications, and all the other unknowns that we know happen on job sites when it comes to building a home. Buyers own a home and the land belief. No land lease, no mobile home park stigma, just real ownership that builds long-term value. I'm a big believer in gaining equity through home ownership. I got my start from owning a rental property and want our buyers to have that same opportunity. We believe in the value of community, and our pricing advantage allows us to include great amenities. For example, in Meadowview Village, we'll have 2 indoor pickleball courts, a clubhouse, a dog run, a playground, and green space in front of each home. The amenities not only create a sense of community, but they're attractive to buyers. A lot of deals depend on the rising rents, long-term appreciation, or interest rate predictions. Our model doesn't. We sell homes during the hold period, which gives investors equity bumps along the way, not just at the end. And because the homes are built in a controlled factory setting, we're not waiting on weather, labor shortages, or permit backlogs to get started. It's a cleaner path to strong returns on investment. All right, we've discussed why we like single family homes for sale and what's exciting about that. And now I'd like to address our second big topic of the day, common pitfalls and challenges, the elephants in the room. I think it's important to address these concerns, and that's what I'm going to do on the next page. These are the main issues that investors have expressed to us regarding other projects they have been a part of. So let's talk about what is different about Upslope Group and the experience that we're creating in our organization. Recognizing these elephants in the room, we create the opposite experience when you invest with us. Okay. So what is our approach? We believe in a fully transparent investing experience for our partners, where people and relationships come first. That is our unique value proposition. And it really differentiates us within the market because we are experienced investors ourselves. We understand what these pain points are and what these fears are. A few of the topics I'd like to mention that make us different is finding the deals. Our dedication to finding the best land is unparalleled. We spend a great amount of time reviewing and running the numbers on potential deals. Of course, tax forms on time is crucial. We commit to a time frame and getting you a complete tax forms on time. And true peace of mind is what we provide. Growing your wealth is important, obviously, but also protecting your wealth while we grow it. Having that safety and security is cornerstone to our approach. The first point that I think is important to talk about is we say no to deals a lot more frequently than when you say yes. And what this means is when you're presented a deal from us, from Upslope Group, for every one project, there are hundreds of other opportunities that we took time to analyze and complete our due diligence on. We have very high standards that we do not compromise on. And if something does not meet our standards, it goes into the trash. What sets us apart is our background. We don't tweak the numbers to make the project work. We're developers that assume the worst and use conservative assumptions. We start with the dirt. We understand zoning, infrastructure, entitlements, and build costs before we ever bring a deal to our investors. That approach has saved us and our LPs from a lot of pain. I did mention a little bit about market research, but I do think our approach stands out in this space because instead of finding a deal and then trying to justify that deal by then doing market research, we take the opposite approach. We find great markets and examine their economic growth, net and net migration. Dozens and dozens of data points. And once we find the market that has the great economic environment, then we search high and low to find an opportunity to invest in. So again, one of the number one predictors of a great investment performance is choosing the right market. So we spend quite a bit of time doing that. Most sponsors start with a flashy deal and try to justify it. We start with fundamentals. We vet over 100 properties for every one we bring forward. If the land doesn't pencil, if the entitlements aren't real, or if the numbers don't work in bad years, we pass. We build trust by being disciplined, and that's how you protect capital. You can't force a deal to work in a weak market, so we don't. We look for markets where population is growing, jobs are steady, and buyers are underserved. Then we go hunting for land. Our project in Great Falls is a perfect example. Big demand, limited inventory, and a buyer pool starving for new homes.
So, Keith here, we're not do it yourself investors. We work with pros, experienced civil engineers, local officials, factory reps, and professionals in the trades who have delivered this kind of housing before. When something works, we replicate it. That's how we scale smart and stay efficient. Execution is everything, and our track record proves it. All right, example projects. I'm excited about this. So, I want to show you some more details about Meadowview Village, our flagship project in Great Falls, Montana. We've touched on this before, but we're going to go into a bit more depth. So we're subdividing a 26-acre parcel in 163 lots. And we're going to place single-family homes on those lots, then sell the homes and the land as a package to our end buyers. Montana has had a very large influx of new residents, both during and after COVID. The Great Falls MSA is growing both in population and job growth, with 2,800 new jobs in the last 3 years. There are billions in construction coming from the replacement of all the Air Force's missile upgrades, and Great Falls needs 370 new homes per year. Right. So right now we're in the late stages of the approval process and then selling houses by December. We'll be sending out our preferred returns by the end of phase one, which is projected to be in April of 2027. Throughout the project, quarterly financial reports will be shared with LPs, giving our investors peace of mind.
Let's discuss our next steps. Thanks for taking the time to connect. At Upslope Group, we believe great partnerships start with real relationships. Before we get further into the details, please set up a free call with me so we can get to know each other better. We'd love to understand your investment goals, whether it's building passive income, reducing taxes, or long-term wealth growth. The clearer we are on your objectives, the better we can ascertain if this project meets your investment goals. Our model is built around creating reliable passive income, tax advantages, and long-term equity growth, all without the day-to-day management headaches. Let's also talk about timing. Whether you're looking to invest now or a few months from now, that helps us match you with the right opportunity. If you have any questions, fire away. We're an open book about our team, returns, underwriting, whatever you need. Just a quick note. We stay fully SEC compliant. That means we start with these calls, build a relationship before and sharing investment opportunities. We'd love to invite you to our investment club, which is the Passive Builders Club. No pressure, just early access to future opportunities built to help you grow wealth and create more freedom. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen, and please reach out with questions or comments you may have. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you for taking the time as well, and we'll talk to you soon.